Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Sklar and welcome to Fertility TV. In this episode, I'm talking about sex, fertility, and vitamin D. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Sklar and welcome back to Fertility TV. I work with couples from all over the world through my online fertility programs, my one-on-one private fertility coaching, and locally here in San Diego in both of my clinics. And a topic or topics that often come up is sex, obviously, fertility, and vitamin D levels. So that's what we're talking about today, how one influences the other. So if you weren't aware, most Americans are vitamin D deficient. You'd think, especially for those living in the southern part of the US, that they'd have enough exposure to sunlight with high enough levels of vitamin D. But the reality is because we don't spend a lot of time outdoors anymore, and certainly we're dressed and covered and not exposed directly to the sun or have enough skin exposed to the sun, our vitamin D levels are notoriously low in the US. And so that becomes an issue, not just for us, but for our fertility levels and our future babies. So here are the things that you need to know. One, low levels of vitamin D can cause low estrogen and low testosterone. We don't want either one of those, right? Because both of those are key hormones on the fertility side of things. And additionally, if we've got low testosterone and low estrogen, you probably don't want to have much sex, so you've got low libido. And trying to get pregnant and having low libido is no fun, because then sex becomes a chore. So we want to increase our sex, we want to increase our libido and our desire to have sex, and vitamin D can absolutely help that. Additionally, if you've got low levels of estrogen or testosterone, then that can also lead to depression, anxiety, irritability. And I have to tell you, I can only speak for myself, but I don't want to be around anyone who's anxious, irritable, depressed, and no one wants to be around me when that happens. So if I feel that way, I can tell you my wife does not want to have fun in the sack if I'm feeling depressed, anxious, or irritable. And I imagine that's the same for all of you. So we want to be attractive to our partners, and we also want to have that desire and have them have the desire for us. So vitamin D can also influence our mood and how we feel as well. Actually, studies have shown that men with adequate levels of vitamin D, and that's over 30, because anything below 30 is deficient, have significantly more testosterone than those whose levels are below 30. 30 for me is not enough when it comes to vitamin D levels. I like to see it around 60 to 80, but even just at that minimal threshold, that shows a significant difference in testosterone levels. So we want to see that change. These hormones are also essential, estrogen and progesterone, for egg quality and sperm quality. So we've got one nutrient, vitamin D, that can influence so many things like fertility, sex, and how we feel. It's awesome, and it's a simple one to get. So aside from those things, if you weren't aware, vitamin D influences AMH, anti-Müllerian hormone. And AMH is an indicator for egg reserve, ovarian reserve. So sometimes if your vitamin D levels are low, it's going to also show that your AMH levels are low, when in reality, they're not. So then you have this false understanding that you might not be producing as many eggs or have as many eggs left as you would hope. So we want to make sure that we keep those levels high so that we can get good, accurate readings for what our ovaries and our follicles look like. Additionally, once you are pregnant, vitamin D is essential as well, because research has shown that low levels or low intake of vitamin D can lead to preterm labor, and we want to keep the baby in as long as we can to keep it as healthy as we can. And last, if the mother's vitamin D levels, so low maternal D levels during pregnancy, can lead to a baby having higher incidence of ADHD. So these are all awesome reasons just to be exposed to more vitamin D and take more vitamin D. So the easy way to do it, although maybe some of you might find it hard, is to get outside in the sun more. And ideally you want to have as much skin exposed in direct sunlight at the peak times of the day between 11 and 2. If that's not possible, then go find a nice good quality supplement of vitamin D as well, and you can supplement with that.